You may say, but our good works don't save us. And you would be absolutely right. The thing is, while our works don't save us, if we are saved, we will do good works. Our good works don't do anything to save us, but they are the evidence that we are saved. So while they don't save us, if we're saved, we will have them. Hopefully that makes sense. That's why there's so much confusion, because it's so specific. So we know that faith without works is dead, and that's simply because if you have truly been transformed, born again into a new creation, no longer being your old self who desires to continue living in intentional, habitual sin, that the Holy Spirit will literally overwhelm you with the desire to do good things. It's hard to use the term slave in any context because people automatically assume it always has to mean what we think of as modern day slavery. Yeah, listen, if we're always looking at the Bible with a modern day lens, we're not going to understand very much of it. We're just not. It wasn't written in modern day. Things change over time. Meanings and context and what things is it changes over time. Even within our lifetime, there's been different things that don't mean what it used to. Like, a great example is, the Flintstones, gay old family, that was written in like the 50s. Obviously, that has a very different context now. So I recorded that on January 9th, and since then, while reading in my Bible, I have read plenty in like Genesis about people being slaves and how they're like really miserable from that and all that. And so I just want to include this in here and say that how I was describing slavery, it may not necessarily be as simple as that. I'm really not sure exactly, so I got to be careful, but um I I think maybe it's just that it's both, that there were people that were intentionally choosing to be slaves because they would rather be slaves, and that's a lot to get into of why they would want that. It just gets complicated. But it's from what I've been reading in Genesis, it does seem like there definitely also at least was, also slavery of people who were like forced into it, who didn't want to be there. But either way, the whole point is just that God never once approved of slavery. That's just because it's in the Bible doesn't mean God approves of it. Murder's in the Bible. God doesn't approve of it. God, not none of this bad stuff. The Bible isn't just saying all only nice things that we want to hear. It also includes all the bad stuff. So just because the Bible records something bad happening doesn't mean God approves of it. You know, if the Bible recorded bad things that you've done, it doesn't mean God approves it. It's just saying that that's something that's happened. It's not saying it's good. Yeah, but anyways. Slavery in those days was simply just paying off the debt you owed by working for them, from what I understand. Basically like an indentured servant, I think, right? Some slaves, wildly enough, it's crazy, but some slaves, for whatever reason, actually wanted to stay their slaves. And yeah, these people they were called bond servants. That's what they were referred to. And that's what we, as Christians, as followers of Christ, we're called to be, just that, bond servants. Bond servants for him, meaning not by force, but by choice. We want to be slaves for Christ. We want to do as he says. By choice. That makes all the difference. Because love always offers a choice. Otherwise, it's not love. We don't follow Jesus because we're being forced to. And that's what a lot of unbelievers can't seem to understand. They think, "Oh, he's just forcing you to." No. No. We do this because we want to, because we love him, because we've experienced him truly tasting and seeing that he really is good. Because God is love and Jesus is God. Jesus, from the very moment he arrived here on earth in the form of an infant, the wise men bowed down and worshipped him. And they called him Emmanuel, literally saying that Jesus is God. That's what it means. Jesus is God who is here with us. You have to know that Jesus is God to be saved, and they knew. Perhaps that's what made them so wise. You know? His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Matthew 25:21. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Matthew 2:11. Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. Matthew 1:23. I still remember back in like third grade. I think I was in third grade. I told my teacher that's what Emmanuel meant. I forget why that came up exactly. And she's like, "Wow, I didn't know that." So yeah, it's kind of wild. But yeah, that really stuck out to me that like she didn't know that because I still remember that to this day. And I don't have a great memory. Like I feel like I'm always forgetting a lot of things. And that's why I write everything down. Like most of my videos, when I'm making them, I write everything down ahead of time. Because I just can't. It's so much easier to remember everything I wanted to say. Um, Otherwise, I might forget certain things. But yeah. Anyways, hope this blessed someone. God bless you guys. Peace.